video right before you get up there, and I was like, that's fine. And she's like, well, I can't play without crying. I was like, oh, I'll be fine. And I was watering up back there. It's just amazing that power in Jesus and that struggle that Jessica sang to us, that broken road. Can I get lights in the back for me? Someone back there? It's a big day. Now you guys can see. Cavs Celtics this afternoon. Unfortunately, it's sad, but I had it on my calendar before Easter was on my calendar. I have an Outlook calendar, and so it doesn't have all your holidays on there, but I have the Cavs schedule, lined up on there. But it's Easter, right? And it's a big day. I didn't realize how much there is leading up to this day. It was such a crazy week. A lot of you know I've taken college classes, and they didn't give us this week off. It's a ministry school, right? They didn't even give us Easter week off. They were all pastors. We're all going to be doing stuff, and so I was upset about that. In fact, I have a paper due this afternoon, so I'll be watching the game a little bit later than the rest of you. I have a 5-page paper I got to write, but that's procrastination. That's what I'm good at. It's a crazy week. We had, did anyone see the sign out on 58, the big 4x8 sign out there? Anybody with hands? Oh yeah, so we got that up there. We tried to put it up Monday, and the city took it down without telling us. Is there any way I can get rid of this ring here? You guys not? It's going to bug me first.
It's off, Carson.
It's bugging me, that's all. You guys are doing all right. Thank you for bearing with me for a second. All right, that's so much better. You guys were ringing in my ear, I was like distracted. But this week, when we built this stage, anyone, I'm worried because I helped build this stage. I was over here and, Pastor Rich was using real nice screws, and I was drilling some of these metal ones in here, and I was stripping them out, and it's going to be a mess to take apart, I know that, but I didn't tell anybody until just now that I stripped out a lot of these screws. But it's been a crazy week. And when we did this ham giveaway, that it was supposed to be, everyone was supposed to be lined up waiting for us to give hams away, and it was supposed to probably take 20 minutes. And then we ended up having to go out to the street, and we would take them, a couple of us, 3 hams in our arms, and we were running out into the street, just handing them to people through their windows, in their cars, stopping traffic, and Trina comes, you're going to get hit by a car, and I was like, well, if I get hit by a car, giving away free food, that's a story to tell at the pearly gates, right? And I was working for you, and they hit me. And so just a crazy week. But I got thinking about the original Easter week, leading up to this day, that first Easter. And we talked about it. I just want to run you through that week real fast. Right, last week we had Palm Sunday. And that was an eventful day in itself, with all the Jesus triumphal entry into Jerusalem. And probably an insane day in itself. And then Monday, Jesus clears out the temple. Right, he goes into the temple of Jerusalem. He's kicking tables, he's throwing chairs, clearing out because they're selling stuff in the temple, and he's mad. And probably part of it has to do with it's Monday. Right? I mean, we all feel like that on Monday sometimes. And so, he's the crazy day in itself. And then Tuesday. On Tuesday, Jesus was, the disciples were with Jesus, and the Pharisees were upset about the whole temple thing. And so they started questioning, like, where do you get off destroying the temple? Like, questioning his authority, and he goes through all these questions, almost like a press conference. They're, asking about marriage, asking about end times, and he does this whole spiel on end times and when it's coming. Crazy day, right? And then Wednesday, not too much happened on Wednesday. I like to think that Jesus took a little time off, played some Wii golf. So that's what I would do, right? And Thursday, it's getting down to it. Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And he led them in communion. prayer time. They ate that Last Supper. And Jesus just prayed with them about the things that were going to happen the next day. And then on Friday, Jesus is tried, he's beaten, and he's made to hang on a cross for 6 hours. He hung there until he died. And then Saturday, Jesus is still in the tomb, and the disciples are just distraught. I mean, they're in mourning. All of Jesus' followers are in mourning, and you can imagine, the things that are running through their heads if you've ever lost someone close to you. If you've ever, I remember when my grandfather died, just the days following, I would just think about, man, I wish I just could have been a better grandson. I wish I could have just spent more time with him. I wish I wouldn't have been such a screw-up growing up. Those are the things that run through my head, and it's probably the same things that are running through the disciples' heads. Man, we could have done so much more. We should have done this. And it's just a hard time. But then, Sunday, right? Mary goes to the tomb. She's going to probably re-embalm the body of Jesus because they had to rush through it on Friday night. And she gets there, and the guard's gone, right? Because they had put a guard in place to make sure no one stole the body because they want to make sure that he didn't raise. Some of the Jewish people we got to make sure this body does not leave here. And so they put a guy in charge. All you got to do is stand in front of this big giant boulder that's covering this tomb and make sure no one takes Jesus' body. But you get that, how do you mess that up? Right? I mean, he's really messed it up. He's got to go back and he tells his boss, the priest, he's gone. I mean, he's gone. And the priest, you had to do one thing. Just make sure the dead body doesn't leave. And so Mary gets there and the guard's gone. And she runs back. And she tells Peter and John. And they run to the tomb. And it says that John, they both started running. And the Bible actually specifies that Peter couldn't keep up. Right? John made it there. And so I imagine Peter kind of running about 50 yards or so and then going into one of those, I'm way out of shape to be running trots. Go get him, John. Right behind you. One of those. And it's just, and then they both get there. And they walk in the tomb. And basically, he's gone. Yeah, she was right. He's gone. And then read with me, and they just go home. John chapter 21, verse 10, it says right after they realized he was gone, the disciples went back to their home.